Hello, my name is Sailesh and welcome to another episode of One Shot. In today's episode, we are focusing on hair mainly and neatening up the face shape. Basically, today's episode is different yet again. It's going to be a sped up episode because the actual process portion took 45 minutes, so that was way too long. So I recorded about 15-minute voiceover for the actual process. Some of it, well, a lot of it does make sense, but as it was kind of a one-shot kind of voiceover, I kind of do speak really fast in places, so apologies if it's hard to understand even. I'll try and improve as I go, but I feel that this wasn't as bad as previous voiceovers that I've done in the past, so I am improving, and hopefully you can see that. So enjoy this episode. The next episode, I am not 100% sure what it's going to be. I'm trying to figure it out right now. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like this episode and subscribe to the channel. That would help. Follow me on the various social media things that you can see on the screen right now. Here it is. Thank you for watching and see you next time. So we are watching this video together, and basically in the intro I might have mentioned, I haven't recorded the intro yet, that this is going to be a speeded up video from the original 45 minutes. It's about 12 minutes long. I figured, there's a lot of things that are a bit obvious, and I kind of over-explain things a bit too much, and it's just a very lengthy process anyway. So I didn't want you guys to go through a very long video again. And 45 minutes is crazy long. So I figured I'd just kind of speed this up and we'd kind of get to it. So I am about to play the video. Okay, so the first thing that I go about doing, well, there's a bit of a pause at the start, and I'm explaining what I'm going to do because I was figuring this would be a real-time video, which it didn't turn out to be. But basically I go ahead and kind of erase the outer parts of the face, the over kind of lapping bits that I kind of did initially from shading the face. So I'm just neatening up the jawline and the chin and the side of the face up to the cheek. And I do it up to a point because I'm just leaving the top because we're going to work on the hair eventually in this video. And it just helps kind of bring things in, and with the kind of the blending and stuff and having something behind the hairline, it just helps with that. So here I'm just kind of neatening with the eraser still, with the chin. Later on, I mean, this stage is quite risky because it's quite permanent, because you're getting rid of a lot of the work that you put in the first place. So you have to doubly make sure that, you're going for like a good face shape. And if you do have a photo reference, then I suggest you study it quite well, maybe erasing the edge of the face and then exporting it and then looking at it on a big screen on your computer or something to kind of take it in a bit better than on the actual tablet screen would help. So just be careful with that stage, basically. So now I'm working on the hair, and then I decided to add ears because I'm looking at that Beyoncé photo reference, and that photo reference does have ears in it. And seeing as I've gone so far with this photo reference, I'm just going to take those ears that are seen in that photo reference and kind of emulate the way that they're kind of positioned and stuff. So I've kind of drawn a line beneath visually in my head, I've drawn a line beneath the nose, across the face, and that's where the actual earlobe kind of starts, and it goes up, just in the middle of the eye line kind of thing. And then I'm just trying to quickly, using surface pressure, quickly filling in those kind of shapes that I've created for the ears, with a similar-ish tone to the actual face. But the thing that I do mention in the real-time version of this video is that you don't have to spend too much time on the this kind of section, the ears, because they're not the main focus of the actual picture, and not a lot of people will be inspecting every inch of your image. So I'd advise you not to spend too much time, but just to get the general shape in there and the general kind of how the light reflects off the kind of ear in general. And it's quite tricky as well, to be honest. That's why I don't really like focusing on the ear too much, because I feel it's overly complicated sometimes. And, you kind of get in there and you're in this mode of kind of constantly looking at the ear, and then you suddenly realize you're kind of focusing on the wrong section of the ear because it's so complex. But here, I think I do spend quite a lot of time, even though I do mention not to spend too much time in the actual real-time thing. It just takes me away to this weird kind of zone where I'm kind of like just being paranoid about it. But that's my own weakness. I'm sure you guys aren't as rubbish at doing ears as I am. And the end result for this video, the ears aren't perfect. So it's a case of knowing when to kind of leave it and move on to the next, section of the actual face that you're kind of dealing with on this session. And the more I do these videos, the more that kind of rings true. To make sure that, you just don't waste time on, focusing on something that'll just kind of, in the end, just be a slight marginal kind of difference to the whole piece. So I'm still toying with the light and the kind of the shade and stuff, but it's getting there, as you can see in the video. So yeah, now I am taking a black with the coloring pencil tool and using surface pressure to kind of quickly and expressively kind of plot out the shape of the hair. And again, looking at that photo reference of Beyoncé, just kind of taking that hairstyle and trying to kind of, copy it in a way with the surface pressure functionality with the pencil stylus. And I know a lot of people don't have that pencil stylus yet, and you can do this stuff with, without that functionality. But just for the sake of this video process, I thought, it would have been easier to use surface pressure because it's a lot quicker, and you can get results a lot faster. There's nothing more to say, to be honest. It's just an easier way to kind of express things a lot quicker. So that's why I'm using surface pressure. And here I'm going over what I did with the surface pressure functionality, and just going without surface pressure. Sorry, can't speak again. Without the surface pressure functionality, and just going with the coloring pencil and just using it as a normal coloring pencil and kind of figuring out without the actual to figure out the actual hair strands and how they're going to go and the direction of the strands and stuff. The thing with hair is it's always, quite tricky, and it's quite an obstacle to figure out how you're going to kind of tackle it. You could go by just suggesting that, with a few strands and perhaps, just suggestive kind of lines of light and such. So you kind of say that, there's so much hair here, you've got to kind of make that insinuation when you kind of look at the end product. Or you could do not every single, but, could do a lot of the kind of strand work to make it a bit more detailed and make it a bit more of a richer image. But then that depends on the actual style that you're going for. So yeah, it really depends on yourself and, what kind of a look you're trying to go for. And here I've added another shade because on the actual image, Beyonce's got highlights in her hair, I think, different hair color. So I've kind of added that by going over again with surface pressure. It is very, very satisfying, to be honest, to be truthful about the whole pencil experience and surface pressure. It is very, very satisfying once you kind of overcome the learning curve. I really, really do advise, you guys to get the actual, that stylus if you're kind of using the paper app. Yeah, and during this whole process, my camera was acting up like crazy. I had to stop and start so much. I'm not sure. I've tried to kind of Google it, if the NEX5N camera has some kind of known issues. And it seems to be just a normal thing with that camera. It just overheats and you have to kind of stop filming. But there were several times in this whole process that the actual camera turned itself off. So apologies if we come across a section where it's totally a different kind of thing that I'm doing and it's kind of skipped a bit. It's just me not noticing when the camera's kind of stopped itself. But yes, we are still kind of figuring out these kind of hairs on the head. I'm adding some lighter parts of the hair now and focusing on the highlights of the hair, and just using a lighter yellowy gold color. And now I've taken to the watercolor brush, even using a black to kind of just overcome a few steps and kind of make it a bit faster, and resulted to having the darkest part of the hair, which is similar to the actual photo reference, just having that as kind of almost pure black and just kind of making it solid on the actual hair area. So it saves time in kind of building that area, but it's safe as well because you've already built some of the hair, so you don't have to worry too much about feeling like it's quite a drastic thing you're doing, because it kind of you've already bridged your way towards this kind of point, I feel. So yeah, so I've kind of gone in with the watercolor, and now I'm happy where I've plotted the black, and now I'm going with the coloring pencil tool and going with black again and bridging the gap between the watercoloring parts that are quite solid to the line, the pencil line stuff. So I'll kind of go into it, and you can see that I'm using the watercolor again. It's quite hard to kind of keep focus on what's happening with this video. I've tried to keep it understandable with the speed, the speed up of the whole thing. It's 12 minutes from 45 minutes, which I figured is slightly fast, but it might help people that have short attention spans, and also saves me from constantly talking for like over 10 minutes. Well, this is over 10 minutes, even longer than 12 minutes even. But yeah, I think I explain in the actual real-time thing, which you won't see on this channel, unfortunately, is that with hair, you can spend absolutely hours on hair, and it does depend on the style you're going for. The more realistic you go, the longer obviously it's going to take. So definitely go for perhaps a suggestive kind of route where you perhaps do a few kind of lines to suggest there's more there than that's actually drawn. But yeah, it's definitely a case of just constantly working at it. So I'd advise you to kind of get into the zone of doing hair and have something on in the background, the TV or music or a podcast or something, just to kind of have you be in auto kind of pilot mode almost, and kind of just get it done, because it is quite a task. And I could have easily spent a few more hours on top of what this kind of real time process was, which was only 45 minutes. And this thing keeps coming down. I don't know how to switch it off. If you guys know, then let me know, because it is quite annoying. But yeah, that's really what this whole video today is about, this episode of One Shot. As you can see, I kind of mapped out the neckline as well. I'm not sure whether the future episodes you'll see me kind of erase and redo that. I just wanted something to be there when I was explaining in the actual real-time one what I was going to do next, but I'm not 100% sure yet. And there I'm going into the actual forehead and kind of adding watercolor to give the hair a bit more place, and make it look like it's part of the head. But yes, I am kind of still tweaking. And yeah, apologies for the weird inconsistencies in this series as well. It's because I'm new to this, as I keep saying, and I'm sure you guys are sick of. But yeah, definitely need to have a bit more of a solid plan of what's exactly happening. Yeah, and back to the video, I've kind of taken to the marker now to neaten up the edges, as you can see with this part. I think I'll rewind this bit, actually. It's a bit too much. Oh no, this part. Yeah, so just going with the marker in black, just neatening up the edges, and then making where the hairiness of the actual edge that I see in the photo reference back up with the coloring pencil tool. So it just gives it a bit more of a believable kind of feel to it. And then I'm going between the actual highlighted areas and going with a darker shade, just kind of make the actual highlights pop a little bit between the sections. And there you can see I'm referring to the previous image just to kind of get a before and after thing going. It's quite effective. It's quite satisfying as well. But yeah, that's it. There it is. The end of this episode. Hope you liked it, and hope this voiceover was kind of concise and helps instruct and lead you in a certain way with hair. Hair is quite difficult, and it is quite overwhelming at times because you feel that there's so many strands on a head of hair. How will you tackle it? And hopefully this kind of helps maybe push you in the right direction. Maybe not do every single strand, maybe do a few strands to insinuate that there are a lot of strands. So thank you for watching this video and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.